let's talk about your book. You're a first-time author. You've written a fictional book called Motherless Children.
Right.
Talk about the book.
Yeah, so it was about 5 or 6 years in the making. Not all of that writing time. It's a crime novel set here on the South Shore of Massachusetts, in the towns of Duxbury and Plymouth, and it's a story I kind of came up with as when I used to have to commute up to Boston every day. I'd be driving down Route 3 on the way home, and I kept seeing this swamp on the side of Route 3, which turns out to be sort of an abandoned cranberry bog, and I kept thinking, this is. I read a lot of crime novels, watch a lot of shows like that, and I kept thinking, I bet there's probably some bodies under there. It looks like a great dumping ground for.
We're not talking turtles.
No, it's not at all. And so I started with the place, and then I kind of built the story around that setting itself. I came up with the character.
So that was the inspiration for this book.
It was, yeah.
This bog on Route 3 down in the Duxbury Marshfield line.
That everybody drives past, and
Okay.
I've had people who grew up here tell me, as they were kids, they would drive past it and they'd sort of close their eyes when they would drive by it on Route 3 because it was so, it was so creepy to them. They'd close their eyes and, sort of like you would as going by a graveyard or something if you're superstitious. Right. So, yeah.
And reading a couple reviews about the book, I mean, you've got everything in this. You've got Danny Tobin, you've got the cops involved, you've got slave trades and sex and all this. It's really got some intrigue to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's, when I started out, I had an idea where the story was going to go. I knew it was going to be a murder mystery, and I had an idea who the bad guys would end up being and that sort of thing. But I didn't have the entire, structure of the book mapped out. But I like to read these kind of novels. I like crime novels. I like mysteries, and I wanted it to be something that had a really good sense of place, rooted in a good setting that people could identify with. And then build strong characters around that, and realistic dialogue is, I spent a lot of time focusing on the dialogue and making sure it was sort of the way that people actually talk to each other, not in these long, page-long monologues, which is not the way that people talk.